And I thought I'd start off with a joke or something I saw actually in the New Yorker, the most recent issue. I thought it was great. These two dressed in robe old men with beards. It was placed in probably a biblical setting because it's desert behind and a hut behind them and some kind of a palm tree. And out before them is some kind of a table of horses and a scroll. And the caption says something to the effect of, well, it's not like they're going to take it literally. Referring to scripture. So it was funny. Yeah. I'm going to end with this piece, which is pretty obscure because of the context. The piece is actually located at the end of an inlet in British Columbia. It's 100 water miles north of Vancouver, BC. And the only way you can get there is by seaplane or by boat. The closest ending road is 50 miles away. And so that sets the tone of this. Now, the context is that my wife and I, straight out of college, were mountain guides for a summer. And this also plays into why I'm so interested in using kinesthetic and visual perception as modes for working with art. During our guide training, which was pretty extensive, we all had to learn how to rappel off a mountain face. And if anybody has done that, it's a pretty scary experience the first time. And I specifically recall being told that you're supposed to keep your feet perpendicular to the mountain face. You're all roped up, but you're supposed to let the rope out and then bounce down the side, but you have to keep yourself perpendicular. If you don't, you're going to crash your face into the rock or the surfaces. So I remember the first time very specifically of leaning out and having to trust that rope and the person on the other end. And suddenly, in an instant, the cognitive concept of trust changed to a physical understanding of trust. Because if something failed, I was toast. And so being in the mountains that summer really was a formative experience for all the work that was to come later. And so I was asked to come back and do a piece at base camp for the same program, which is now 35 years old. And so that's the context. As this is a view from base camp looking to the other direction. And it's actually a little inlet, a little rapids, about as wide as this room, well, double the size of this room, where this intersection from one larger inlet into another spills into. So this is the context for the piece. And it was located about 20 yards from the shore, so the water is very much present. Another contextual thing I think you can see in this image is a big, long waterfall off to the side. In this canyon-like space, it's a fjord kind of environment, there is constantly the sound of water. All year round, water is always moving. And so it's just one of those white noise background things that you're just aware of. Well, trying to make an association with this climbing program and the fact that the trips go up, starting at sea level to 5,000 feet in one day, well, sometimes, 4,000 feet in one day, and then you're on snow for the rest of the week, and then you come back down. It's really about changing perspective and how hard it is hard work it is to get up to the level where you actually can have a different perspective on all kinds of things. Another factor is that in groups of ranging from 8, typically on up to 12, taking people into the mountains and being on top of glaciers and going over the terrain and so forth, you learn very quickly that if you're trying to be the strong person, it's just a lot of work, and you quickly learn to help one another. And so one of the things we also learned was how to extend a hand to pull somebody up a difficult section, and everybody was in that role, and it rotated and so forth. And so you learn very quickly also that the weakest link is actually the pace of the whole group. And that by the whole group working together in community, that everybody benefits. And so these are important lessons that I think can be learned other ways, but especially in the mountains. So the context then for this piece was, oops, I appear to be heading the wrong direction. No, my bad. There we go. Yeah, just so happens that Rachel used this quote in her talk. And there's this, I think, a transition from cognitive thinking and discourse to visceral understanding that I alluded to in my first talk. So, following that line of reasoning, there are no machines to help in building a piece like this. Pick and shovel the first summer, and we're talking a week period each time. It took 3 years to build this piece. The first summer was simply excavating a site, and I selected a site, and this is what we excavated in one summer, 1 week. And being an alluvial plain next to glacial runoff, it's just all rock and hard work. So this sets the context. The second summer was spent building or digging further down and creating 2-foot openings in the ground for concrete and putting in steel and so forth. And that was, again, hard work. No machines to help do this kind of work. And then finally pouring the concrete, mixed by hand. And we're talking group activity here. And yards of concrete to make the eventual structure stand up. The third summer, which was just this past summer, was actually constructing the piece. The materials for the piece were actually recycled lumber from a large camp, and by the way, there are logging camps up and down these inlets. A large camp down the road, across the water called Malibu. These are recycled dock beams, timbers. And so the entire piece is built out of recycled material. The aspects of the piece, as it has resulted here, are that this long log, which we cut off the end of a felled tree that came down in a windstorm the previous, a couple summers previously. The log alone was 3 tons approximately, and it took 6 hefty guys and a come along and block and tackle and tripod and so forth to even get it into position, and especially to put it into this position. The tree refers to the tree of life, and I mean that was the metaphorical connection I was making. And the other structures are this round wall, which is aimed at a specific creek bed that has never run dry since the inception of the program, so it has a pretty good chance of staying there. We made some jokes this summer that with global warming, this may be the dock for future generations. Anyway, this round wall picks up the sound of this creek across the way, and there is definitely a focal point, so one can move within this semicircular space and get an auditory experience that collects the sound, and you just naturally you try to find it. It just so happens that when you find it, you're right below the chain and this triangular platform above your head. So this has a better view of that. You've heard about round walls being a symbol also for repentance. Well, it works double duty on this as well. This triangular wall is the exact same shape as the horizontal platform that is held up by the chain. And those are both a reference to, actually, they're diagonally cut triangles from a golden mean rectangle, which I'll show you in just a sec. But this back passage, as people go through this passage, they literally have to humble themselves or they'll bonk their heads. And it also provides a way of access to a higher perspective. It's much easier if somebody that is adept can get into the position and reach a hand down and bring the other up. And that's exactly what happens. So as people come in to go up into the mountains, they say, what the heck is this, the whole structure? And then they get up in the mountains, they come back, and it sort of makes sense. And they know what to do with it. And so it's really engaging in that way. This gives a sense of scale. And here's that golden mean rectangle, which, if you don't know, is the ratio of 1 to 1.6180339. Pretty close, anyway. And what this represents is man's best thinking. The Greeks, the Egyptians, and other cultures understood this. They saw it in nature, and it was confirmed in mathematics. And so this is a reference to the tree of life intersecting with that, and also breaking through and coming to a different position, being held up in tension because of that round wall. So these are all references that coincide with some of the aspects of the climbing program itself, and alluding to a higher perspective, a different perspective that offers one a chance to see things differently. And I would also suggest, in conclusion, that the title of the piece is appropriate for Christians understanding that something extra in their lives, working as artists and so forth, there's that and I'm sure that works itself out in other religions as well. But it is truly beyond reason. Thank you.